afternoon. I can't say morning, right? I gotta say good afternoon. It's the 17th, right? I'm really excited about this one, Connor, and because we have, if you switch your camera view here, we have so many awesome people in this room today. Today is Family Day. Gary got us all fired up. Do we want to do it again, guys, for the beginning? Do we want to start it again? Do we want to? It sounds like we do. All right, go ahead. Get us started. So we do that a couple times a day, and Gary changed. It used to just be a straight clap, right, Bo and Jesse? Gary changed it, and it's going to stick forever. Nobody is ever allowed to change it. I love that I have background noise. I love that I have the kids in the background. We have this new shotgun mic that we hear everything. So I just can't tell you how pumped I am for it. Let's say hi to everybody that's on here. Maureen Powell's watching. Maureen Powell is here. She is sitting right here. Jackie Taylor. Hello. Suzanne, hello. How are you? Just say hi. Be in tune with this, and this is another thing. Man, I want you to share this out to people that are just dealing with this and dealing with the before, during the addiction, during the recovery from running from life, and the after program life. The two things we're going to talk about today are the during the program. We've talked in depth about enabling during addiction. We've talked about that and what that does. Today I'm here to talk about during a program, what I get to deal with from families, from moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandparents, brothers, sisters, and I'm going to be, as usual, really brutally honest on what I see. I hope that everybody. The reason that I put especially Danielle and Maureen up front here is because I've gotten brutally honest with them both at times, haven't I? And I've told them exactly what I think of what they're doing and how they're doing it. And we've gone through our little battles, but I think you both know that I've loved you and them through the whole thing, and it was never meant to hurt. I hope that, and it's meant to help. And I hope that everybody on here, everybody that I cross paths with, you may take my aggression as anger, but it's passion. I treat this way. I look at this as a 2-year-old kid. If Josie there was walking 10 feet from a train and the train was coming and you didn't see it, I wouldn't just politely say, hey, Josie, slow down. I would freak out, and I would scream at her and grab her from jumping in front of the train. That's how I treat everything with addiction, with recovery, and with dealing with winning in life. I am aggressive. I am going to say things that may get your attention. If they hurt, you may want to deal with them. You may want to call me and say, how do we fix this? If you call me and tell me that you know the answer, don't waste your call, okay? So I think that let me answer some questions here. Dreamin' Knox, Gigi, hi. Suzanne, hi. Hope you have an awesome day. Can't wait to travel to the cafe. Us too. Come see us sometime. So I just wanted to make that known before we got started that everything I do, even to these people that are in here, I'm aggressive. I'm going to say things that you may not think are something that I'm in your corner, but I think this is one of the biggest problems in our country right now, if not the biggest. It's killing people. What else is it doing? Is I see these little kids here, and a lot of these guys have kids here. We have too many kids without both parents in their lives, from substance abuse and from running from life and being losers. There's too many dads missing from kids' lives, and it's got to stop. And I'm going to aggressively fight that and say what I need to say. And I hope you can view this whole thing as a positive thing, and it's for you, not to you. Don't be a victim of what I'm saying. If you are, let's talk about it. I'm going to love you no matter what you think, okay? So today's special, we have Family Day here. We just spent some time. We had from 10 to 11 was, what was it, guys? Not cocktail hour we have here at Family Day. 10 to 11 is not cocktail hour. 11 to 12 was what, Jesse? What was it? Jesse Sanchez came up with the night. I love that. Jesse's always a whip, man. We had Taco Day. We had our first day opening Soul Farm Stop and Go. Soul Farm Stop and Go. That's what it is over here. Next week, Elliot, Drew, and Connor are opening the Stop and Go. We are going to be serving food to the public. We don't know exactly what day it is, but we are going to practice all Monday through Wednesday and hoping to open that gate on Thursday at around 11 o'clock, stay open till 7, and we are going to serve barbecue. That means pork, that means ribs, that means sweet corn, but
smoked
street corn. Street corn, which is amazing, and some mac and cheese. So anybody that's into barbecue, everything comes off our smoker. You are going to be in for a treat on Thursday if you stop by here. It's going to be our first day opening. We're hoping to have a grand opening. Thinking about getting John Pell back out here to do a singing. You do the singing and dancing number. You still doing that? You still doing that singing and dancing thing with the bikini on? You'll do it for our grand opening? All right, I'm excited. I'm excited. You're in for a treat no matter what we do for a grand opening. These guys are going to get at it. But the food's going to be amazing. What's going to be even better is that you're going to have a place to come talk to us about what we do. And everybody in the world that I've spoken to, I've gotten to travel the country since 2015 to now at motocross races a lot. I'm around thousands of people on the weekend. And, man, I've never crossed paths with somebody that didn't have substance abuse and somebody that was in their life that kept running from life and running from adversity, that they didn't come up to me and say, this is affecting my life. This is affecting my family's life. So we're hoping for Soul Farm Stop and Go and the Academy here for a place to be in the mall, Berkshire Mall, where people can come and talk to us about what the solution is. We don't want to talk about the problem. We'll listen to your problem. But we all have the same problem. And it's not a substance. It's loser, scumbag disease. And we want to teach you how to be winners. So we are going to be here. We're going to be available. We're going to hopefully have these family days and open the doors at some point to that at the end of the evening if you want to stop by and see what we do and talk to the families. Maybe you're a mom that just wants to talk to a mom. And Danielle is going to commit to being at every one of these to talk to the moms and teach them the way, right? So that's where we're at. Eddie says, absolutely beyond traditional rehab conversations and language. Keep it real and raw, brother. Amen, man. Amen. That's what I'm trying to do. Love you, buddy. Let's see. Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. So here we go. So I want to start with the quote of the day. I opened my phone this morning, and this is what I saw, and I thought it was really, really fitting, right? It says, it's not heroin, meth, or weed that makes one an addict. It is the need to escape from a harsh reality. And that quote, I'm going to read it again. It's not heroin, meth, or weed that makes one an addict. It is the need to escape from harsh reality. And life can be really harsh sometimes, can't it? This epidemic and what's going on. We're in a harsh time with the epidemic, with the way our government is, with the Democrat, Republican side. Everybody is harsh. There's hateful people out there. That's been from the beginning of the time. There's been hateful people. Just do some reading back thousands of years ago. It's been harsh for a long, long time. And we can try to pretend like this life is supposed to be all peaches and cream, but the truth is it's not. It gets harsh. It gets tough. And we all have tough times. How do we deal with them? So that quote is leading us right into the topic for the day. And the topic for today is family enabling and crippling during the program and after it. So many times we've talked about during the addiction, during the use, and how horrible it was, and you were scared to death. You brought your son to me, and we just talked about Maureen bringing her son to me in southern Georgia on dirt roads. This is what? How many years ago is that now, John? Almost 4. Almost. Oh my gosh. Almost 4 years ago, Maureen drove John Powell to me, and she, if you would see the road she drove to drop him off at 8 o'clock at night in the dark, she was not comfortable leaving him with me. But she shared that she said Kevin told me he was going to love John when he couldn't love himself, and I hope I did that, buddy. But you bring your son, your daughter to a place, and you're scared to death. You're scared that they're going to die, right? You're scared that they're going to overdose another time. And it's really like this. It's really like this pivotal time where you can, when you drop them off. How many of you could actually take a breath when you knew they were finally safe? That's a big piece of being able to go home and sleep for the first time in a long, long time without the disruption of somebody busting in the house after a week of running, after just wondering if they're going to live or die. And my goal is for people to stop living a life that they're concerned with somebody they're concerned with somebody always dying. But my deal is to make sure that they start to live. I can't control whether somebody dies. That's out of my hands. And honestly, just so you know, families, it's out of your hands. You are not going to control them overdosing and dying. If you could, nobody would be here. You are not going to control them living in a house and never coming out and isolating and being just no part of society, no part of family, like John has always spoken about. Just not being somebody that's connected to the world and being able to be loved and cared for. You're not going to control that. But what you can do is create a situation where they have to learn how to live. And that's what I'm about. We are here living life and learning how to live life on life's terms. Not mom's terms, not John's terms, not TJ's terms. We are living on life's terms, and we're faced with adversity here every day, and that's the point. This is training. This is training for outside those doors, because John will tell you, outside those doors is way tougher, isn't it, buddy? Wait, it's not even close, is it? Mom's terms, not John's terms. You gotta turn that off. What was that? Is that in your pocket playing? That was pretty cool.
That's kind of like a cool sound effect.
Go ahead, JP. Go ahead.
So yeah, it's way different. I mean, but that's the best part of it is how hard it is. I mean.
Yeah. There you go. That's success, man. Would you have said that 4 years ago?
No, I mean, I just wanted the easy way.
That's it, man. And there you go. We could end the show right now to make you know what the real problem is. It wasn't about, John, you've done a multitude of drugs, right? Is there one that you didn't do?
There's nothing that I didn't do.
Yeah. And was it about that?
It was never about that. It was always about escape.
That's it, man. That's it. So there's the problem of what we call addiction, and we want to keep talking about addiction. But I'm going to be frank with you. I think that's society's way of pointing us in a direction to make money off of you. They want to point us in the direction of the substance so that they can medicate you in recovery. Look at it. I just got told in West Virginia by a lawyer, okay, that they now have a mobile bus that comes to your house to give you Suboxone and methadone. A bus that you make a call and you do everything on the phone and tell them what's wrong, and they drop off your Suboxone or your methadone for a cash price. And they bill your insurance. Is that not insanity? Now these people, these little buses, these little motorhomes, these little druggy buses, what we should really call them, right? They are accredited. The government is subsidizing this. Think about this, people. We're calling recovery a different opioid. It was like me when I quit drinking tequila with my rum. That I just said, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go from tequila just to a beer, a beer and a rum. Like, what is the difference? There is none. It's all opioid based. It's just this sickness we have, and it's all about the dollar. It is all about the dollar, and I feel like addiction is purposely pointed in a direction to keep medicating you. I think mental illness is a lot about the pills. When you don't have a certain doctor, it's and Elliot should talk about that. You become. I think Elliot put it best in his video. He said where I felt like a couch potato with as many drugs as I was doing. Right, Elliot? Like there were certain times where you just felt that's how it was for you.
They'd have me so medicated out that it was like I could literally sleep like 16, 18 hours straight.
Yeah.
You couldn't even open your eyes.
Yeah.
Function.
Yeah. And you're not like that anymore. You're on the same schedule we are. Right?
Yeah, I don't want to be like that.
That's it. That's it.
That's the least thing I want, because that means I'm not living.
That's it. So we have this thing in our world, right? We have this thing in our world that we have this monster, this money monster that is feeding all of this and is feeding a certain problem called addiction. And everybody wants to focus. Treatment centers want to focus on the addiction. Treatment centers want to focus on substance abuse. And treatment centers want to focus on relapse and triggers. That's what I talked about more. How many of you have been in treatment centers multiple times? How many of you have been in a treatment center more than 4 times? That's most of the room. How many of you have been to a treatment center more than 10 times? There's multiple guys in here, okay? And what was the focus? Honestly, don't just say what it is. What was the focus in treatment? Drugs. Drugs, past, And it was always, what's your relapse prevention? What are your triggers? Okay, this is a mindset we're teaching out there in treatment centers because they're a business. They're a for-profit business. You guys have to remember that. So you got to be really careful when you're picking a treatment center. Those of you that are out there, I'm not saying that there aren't any good ones. I'm saying that I think they're up against it when insurance is involved. An insurance company decides how long you're in the hospital and how long you're in rehab. They have no idea who you are. They have no idea what you've been through. They have no idea what it takes to beat this thing. And that's why we're losing 6,000 people a month. That is, come on, Joe, what are you doing over there? No, I'm just kidding, Joe. Don't worry about it.
Don't get up.
We could hear every word you're saying over there, Bess. That shotgun mic picks everything. I could hear her teeth gritting. Don't get up. That's the fun of this. And I love hearing that stuff in the background. So don't change it over there.
Sit down.
So yeah, it's got to be. We got to make it about something different. How we're doing it isn't working, and I'm going to segue from that into this. How families are doing it isn't working right now. It hasn't worked with how you did it, or you wouldn't be here. And it's got to change from your standpoint. Your mindset, your behavior must change if you're going to be a part of your loved one's life. That's the truth of it. There has to be hard boundaries, and there has to be change. Not just with the addict, not just with the one that says, let me point the finger at the guy that's doing the drugs and in the middle of the room. It's really easy to set that addict in the middle of the room and be like, hey, he's the one on the heroin. He's the one sticking a needle in his arm. He's the one doing this. Let's just get him fixed, and this will all be okay. Let's just get him to stop the drugs. Let's get him to stop the heroin, stop taking the pills that are killing him, and we all will be fine. Let's get him to stop doing that, and let's get him home, and life's going to be awesome. And you know how many times I've seen this over and over and over again? It's like, it's nonstop. So, I want to talk about growth, okay? So they got here. You were scared to death getting them somewhere, right? It's important that you hear this. And let me read some comments right now. Wow, the recovery is in the work. You got it. Druggy buses is a very good name. You're right. Addiction is a family disease. You're right, Marie. It's the only part of it that's disease. By the definition of the word disease, it is a disease. But I don't look at like people say, oh, it's exactly like cancer. Stop it, okay? If you put me on an island without drugs and alcohol, and you put a person with stage 3 or 4 cancer on an island that can't get treatment with cancer, guess who's dying? Not me. If I don't have a choice to drink that stuff. So I can't stand the comparison to cancer. It drives me crazy. But that's a whole different topic. So let's talk about growth. Because that's really what we're here to do, right? That's what all these guys have chose to do here. When they got here, they sign a packet of papers that say that we're not a treatment center. We are not going to have therapists and doctors and counselors give you drugs to help you sleep. Quite the opposite. You are going to learn to go to work on yourself, and you're going to learn growth. And growth takes a bunch of things. It takes pain, right? It takes effort and action and work, hard work. It takes building confidence, right? It takes this one, TJ. Did you remember this one from this morning? Because TJ inspired this whole thing that I wrote on here today. It takes consistency and persistency. And you better look those words up. Look up what the word consistency means. It doesn't mean 6 months, 12 months is not consistent. All of us are capable of doing that, okay? Persistency, look up that word. And if you're persistent, you'll get it, right? Anybody that has persistency will reach something. But the only way you're going to keep it is with consistency. And that's the part that I see in these guys that is truly missing in their life is consistency. Growth takes facing fear and your past, dealing with it, letting it go. Growth takes community, right? And here's I think what the biggest one is. Growth takes a very important word, uncomfortability. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable, because whatever makes you uncomfortable is like your biggest opportunity to grow. Okay? All uncomfortability is an opportunity to grow. And I hope that you're listening to this, and there's certain things that you're going to get uncomfortable with me saying, and you're going to use them for an opportunity to grow, because a lot of people use uncomfortability as like this ability to build a wall. As soon as they got uncomfortable, it's like, y'all can build a 12-foot wall in a millisecond, can't you? Like Jake took about a while to build a 12-foot block wall. When y'all in your mind can build one in a millisecond when you hear something that makes you uncomfortable. Uncomfortability is just an amazing opportunity for growth. I see it every day, you know, and man, so you take a plant, right? What do you put a plant in, JP? What do you stick that plant in to make it grow?
Home Depot bucket?
On our farm, what do we put our plants in? Soil, but what's in that soil?
Nutrients.
Poop.
Oh, manure.
You got to go through some shit to get a plant to grow, right? that's the truth of it, right? You got to really. There's a lot of stuff that goes in that dirt to make it grow. So these guys, excuse my language, have to go through some shit to grow. They got to deal with their old stuff. They got to move forward, and in the end, that plant gives you a beautiful fruit, a beautiful flower, a beautiful vegetable. But it takes time of cultivating it and going through some tough storms, tough winds, right? Tough times. But in the end, if it stays consistent and you water it consistently and you do the work consistently and you weed it, you pull out the weeds and get rid of them, right? I'll tell you right now how I feel about certain moms and dads and grandparents. You're weeds. You're cutting the life out of them. You're like not allowing growth. That's what weeds do. And that's may sound harsh, but that's how I see it. And you got to go through all of that to get to the fruit. And life is really about your fruit of what you're doing. As everybody knows that I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. I believe that everything is about the fruit. It's about the flowers. It's about not what we say, but what we give out and what we're and that fruit. It's all about the end result to me and how you're getting there. Our foundations of everything, every building. Jake built a wall. He used 12-inch blocks, 12 feet high. What was under the ground for that to sit on?
Concrete foundation.
A concrete foundation, because that's the most important part of that wall. Without that foundation, that wall's gone down. And that foundation is where, Jake?
Dug deep.
Dug deep in the dirt. Same way our feet hit the ground, our feet are our foundation in life. That's what we need to deal with in recovery and moving forward. So just understand, you know, after dealing with this stuff for 12 years, right? I've been in this for 12 years. I see the majority of parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts stand in the way of growth. Stand in the way of all those things. And you may not see it, but that doesn't make it true. Pain, work, uncomfortability consistently, you are absolutely killing them. I can't stress enough how many times every time that somebody runs from this program. Why are they running, Jake? You've been here a long time. What gives them the ability to run?
Running from the truth.
Okay, and what are they running to?
It's easy.
The easier. Thank you, Joe. Who said that? You, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. And isn't there always, every time somebody runs from this program, and it happens regularly, right? Any program that's hard and difficult, right, and takes consistency and time, if they have one person that they can get to bail them out, are they gone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Always. So I see that. And I gotta here's the part where you're gonna hear, and this may like strike a nerve. I have voiced my opinion. Y'all think that you have the answer. And to me, that's straight insanity. You tried it your way. I'm talking to moms, dads, husbands, wives, aunts, uncles, grandparents, brothers, sisters. They get here, and after a couple months, you believe that they've been here long enough. You believe that this is now difficult for you, right? I'm talking to you people on here too. You believe that you now miss them. You miss them, and the truth is you haven't known them for 10 years. You don't have a clue of who they are anymore. You've saved them. You've gotten them out of every problem in their life. You've put a roof over their heads so that they can spend all their money on drugs. You've paid every bit of food that's on their table so that they can spend all their money on drugs and only what they want. And now you miss them. And the truth is, What you miss is that person that you can focus on so you don't have to look within. And we pass our guilt and our problems and our shit down to the next person. Because guilt and shame are part of everything that you feel sorry for them. You feel sorry for what they may have been through. You feel sorry for them for your failures maybe and how you did as a parent. So now you're going to put your guilt into an equation that all that person's going to do. What are you going to do to somebody that has guilt, Jake? What are you going to do to them?
I'll get you one.
If somebody shows you they have guilt, anybody,
Oh,
they have guilt.
I'm gonna use it against them.
100%. I'm going to manipulate that if I'm not a person that is healthy. I'm going to continue back to those old ways. I have dealt with people in this program for the last 6 years, and I've also, I've been doing this for 12 years. The first mom I dealt with, she loved me when I took her son into my house, and when I got to her and told her that all the stuff she keeps buying him every week is not allowed anymore, she freaked on me. Like, I have to be a part of this. I have to be a part of him getting better. And I'm like, that doesn't mean buying things. But so I got to do this for a long time, and I'm gonna tell you, the majority of the people in here don't have a drug problem. They have a parent or family problem that keeps allowing them to stay where they are. And that's really tough because in your heart, you love your son to death. And I'm only talking about men here because that's the only thing I work with. In your heart, you want him to get it so bad. You just don't know the recipe. That's the truth. You have no idea how to do it. I mean, I've had moms sneak phones. John, you were sneak phones into the program for their sons so they could call more. Call every week. Break the rules. I've had moms sneak notes into socks and be sneaky. I have moms that will call my phone, dads that have called my phone at midnight, 9 o'clock, left me nasty messages because I'm not doing, bottom line, what they want. I'm not letting them talk to them enough. They don't like the rules. They don't like the structure. They don't like what's going on. You failed. You did it your way. And you screwed this up royally. You asked for my help, but yet you want to keep doing it your way. You have no say when they get here. This is the hard part. Your say is over. I've had moms call, and the first thing they say is, "How's my baby?" You know how old their baby is? 38 years old. I had a mom with a 38-year-old. "How's my baby?" Your baby. That's the problem. You've gotten him out of everything he's ever done. You know what they tell me when they get here? Kevin, I've paid $20,000 for lawyers to keep him out of jail. What the hell do you think's gonna happen? What's gonna keep me out of jail? If you're gonna pay every lawyer, you're gonna fix every car, you're gonna fix every situation. How in the world do you expect me to help somebody where you've stood in the way of every consequence? Because the only way I learned, if I didn't, you want to turn that mic down a little bit? If I didn't have consequences, I would have never, ever changed. Ever. There was no chance. I would still be high. I would still be dealing drugs. And I would still be on the run if there was no consequences. More. Connor. So, no, you're good, Connor. So, like, it's like, it's this thing where you guys want, you're very good at dropping your kid off and saying he doesn't follow rules, he does everything his way, but I want it my way too. Let me be sneaky. Let me cheat the system. Here's the other part. There's a lot of you parents right now that want to talk about how manipulative they are, how sneaky they are, but they've called you during the program. They've done things that were not part of the rules of the program, and you didn't call me to tell me, did you? You didn't call me to let me know what happened. And this has happened multiple times. And the guys finally get honest and say, I did wrong, but you didn't get honest. You guys didn't get honest, right? So what do you expect? If you're going to participate in lying, cheating the system, and it's this system that's saving their life and helping them transform their lives, how are they going to get it coming home to you? Let me just tell you something. If you think that a person, there I go, a man that is 18, because that's when you can go to jail, that's when you can suffer your own consequences. If you feel like they should come home to you anytime after they're 18, you're insane. The next time your child should live with you is when you need them. When you're 80 and now it's their, or 75 and it's now, what's that noise? And now it's your turn. That must be the wireless mics. Now it's your turn to be cared for. That's the next time you guys should live together. Straight up. They should be taking care of you. You should never be taking care of them after they're 18. Why? Not because that's the way it is with every child, but did it work with this one? Did it work to take care of him? Did it work to take care of him? Never. Never once. And you loved him?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yep. But like in your case, you figured out, like, I mean, he was in a house right down the street from you. You saw him every day, but it didn't get any better.
No.
The more you gave him, the worse it got. And do you want to talk about that, John, at all? Like, it was hard. I remember our family weekend where it was like, that was a tough weekend, man. I remember you saying, y'all got to let me fail. I remember you saying, please let me fail if I don't do this. Like, just wash your hands of me so I can not go down the same road. And that's hard for people to get, man. What are you thinking?
I mean, I go back to that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like I've like that distance. Like I go back to that to like even still like I want to do it myself. Like the only way for me to learn is for me to do things myself. Like I'm stubborn like that.
Yeah.
And that's at work. That's in life. That's anything. I mean, if I'm gonna get it, I need to do it.
And I wish, like hearing him talk like that, I wish they could know John's whole backstory of the excessive amount of giving you did for him. Like the excessive amount of him not wanting to do
Like literally everything.
Everything. And you wanted it that way, and you manipulated it that way, and you made it happen. And you would be nasty to her if she didn't do it that. And your transformation to me is a lot like what I see Jake going through with you. Like it was extreme, the amount of you wanting to do nothing in your life to you saying now there's a good distance, there's 8 hours between you two. And has that been necessary? Because there's got to be times where you've gone through and been like, ooh.
I mean, sometimes I do have mixed feelings. Like you're talking about, like they are getting older, and like I feel like I should be there sometimes. But like, then again, I feel like I'm not ready to take care of someone yet. I still got some growing still to do. I still got to learn how to do this myself.
Yeah.
I still have to, what I mean, like and I just kind of realized that when I look back, I realized that where I'm at is like I'm still like on God's plan kind of, because I didn't make a lot of the choices that
You didn't
I made,
put your hands on the wheel.
Yeah, and then I'm like, so like I need to just keep going with that.
Right. And that's so in comparison to where you were and having him around right down the road every day, you got to be obviously more proud now and the difference.
Oh, I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
And thinking about it, sometimes the things that make me proud, or when I'm talking to him about something and he's feeling like insecure, and he knows that it's part of the way he's talking to himself, and he's got to look at it different.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to do it.
He's grown up.
Yes.
Yeah. And that gets scary. Danielle, you want to talk about that growing up thing? Like, you have anything to say on this? Like that part of your child growing up, because we're not good at that at times. Like it's hard to move on from that. Is it?
No. No. When I noticed a lot when Jake came home for Easter Sunday, and because that was like the test to see how he would react to things, how he would handle things. He's in more of the setting that he came from. So that was pretty much an eye opener for us, and how he handled things and how he responded to things. It's hard to, but what I noticed the most with that is he didn't put himself in the forefront. He would, like, if we asked him a question, he would turn it around and ask, well, how are you? Well,
When's the last time you heard that?
I never did.
No.
I never did.
Uh-huh.
So, like, even just when I texted him when he was down in Delaware, I said, how's your week going? And he's like, mine's fine. How is yours? And how, like, he responded everything with turning it around and asking the questions that I would ask him. So I see it, and I see the maturity. But really, I had to get out of his way. And the more I talk to him, the more he's telling me, and it's,
Get out of my
I
way.
was really in his way.
Yeah. And so talk about that. You and I had our battles in the beginning where it was like, hey, 6 months is up. Like, yo, remember that one, Jake, at like, where were we? Like CFC or something? You're like, hey, like, this time is up. Like, where's my son? And do you want to talk about that at all? Like, do you remember that?
I need a plan. I just like to have everything planned. So that was my issue.
Yeah.
I have to be organized with plan. Now I just wing everything. I
She had
have
to
no
control.
plan at
I don't know
all.
if the word was plan or control.
Control, I guess.
Yeah.
But
how, when you have, so let's talk about that on both sides of it. There
well,
was at
my
times
problem
where you
was the change with what we started with.
Yep.
Because it was one thing.
Yep.
And then it turned into something else. And I was fine.
No, you weren't.
I
Go
was
ahead.
fine. It just took some time. I wasn't fine initially, but it just took some time. But the whole scary part was we just trusted you 100% and just left him with you.
Yeah, looking at me. The scary part of this guy is that, we
really
trust
was well, because I thought, okay, well, I think this guy's gonna either beat the crap out of him. And like because I was like, well, we can't do that, so I guess we'll leave him here for whatever happens. So
That's great.
I mean that was an advantage. Okay,
No,
at
wait,
least,
do you think he
at
needed to be
least
the-
you look scary.
Do you think he needed the crap eat out of him at times?
Yes, I do.
All
Yes,
of you
I
think
do.
that. Mama, Joe needed to be smacked around a little bit? Oh, definitely. Beth, did you ever want to smack Joe around at all? Yeah, she said yes. Yeah, so, but let me tell you, that doesn't work long term. You know, I can beat on these guys. I can grab them by their neck. I can smack cups out of their hand. I can even put them in a chokehold every once in a while. Goldberg them if I have to. I've Goldberg Jake into the snow for sure. But that may be like a little attention getter, but it's just the consistent, persistent work in saying, this is what you're doing, because they all want to say, no, I'm not. The first thing with Jake for the first 24 months, or 22 months, was resistance. Always. It was always resistance, because who did resistance work with? You and you. As soon as he got resistant, you gave in, right? As soon as he got angry, nasty, at some point, or really sweet, this is my son. This is what I want. So you can turn on, we're chameleons. We just change our colors, and we get you to just dive right in, huh, Mom? Always, yeah? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about, like, what happened? What's that noise? Huh? I like that.
The daughter's calling.
Aunt Ozzy's got a phone ringer there. I like that.
Your daughter's calling. Now get your daughter.
Cynthia Marks says, sorry, she got the control problem from her mother. I take that responsibility.
I did.
I'll tell you what I see most is moms wanting control of it. I'm going to tell you something that's really scary is that I've seen moms almost enjoy a relapse so they can get back involved to control what's going on. And there's people in here shaking their heads like, Mom was cool with a little relapse so they could get back in and put their hands in it, and because they want to control the relapse. They want to be responsible for the recovery. They want almost the credit for fixing it. And that's really, really scary to me. So I spoke a little bit about the things that go on in the program, and there's more. But y'all just need to shut up and back up and let me do my job and let these guys, bigger than me, let this community, because that's what this is. This is a therapeutic community. There are no therapists. There are no counselors. Therapy happens every minute on the job if these guys are doing their part. When a freshman like Chance or Drew hangs out with a senior like Bo, a junior like Joe or another senior, and that therapy happens when they're acting like an idiot and their behaviors are caught in the moment and they're told, knock it off or this is what happens. You keep running your mouth, you got another contract. You keep doing this, here's another day on the bench. You keep doing that, you got community service hours where you're going to shovel crap the rest of the day. What do you want to do? And in those moments, this program is doing what you didn't do as a parent. You did not train them for life. You made it easy. You gave a soft landing. And that is the part that doesn't work at all. Go ahead, buddy. I saw you grab the mic.
It's like my whole life.
What's
My
your-
whole life, I just didn't have any consequences, and now coming here, I was given consequences, and that was like my biggest eye openers when I got a contract for a week or something like that for doing something stupid. Like, and that's what helped me change.
Yeah, and I remember you'd freak out. Like,
Yeah, I couldn't handle it at all.
could not handle a con. You'd freak out like, and try to lie your way that you didn't do something knowing the truth because of the consequence, because you were just not used to any consequences.
Yeah.
And that's it. And this isn't a blame game. This is a responsibility game. From 0 to 17, that was a parent's responsibility. It's your responsibility now. It doesn't matter what happened back then. I don't care what your story is. I don't care how many times you got out of it. I don't care how many times you did certain things. That was always just me. I hate that. That's just always how I handled it. Well, then great. You're going to always get what you got then. That's just me. That's just the person I was. Great. That's why you're here. That's why you've been to jail. That's why you've overdosed. That's why you're being arrested. That's why you're in a mental hospital. Though that thinking is what got you here. So now that unlearning phase is tough, isn't it? And that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I first got here, I still wanted to blame, you know, my dad and my stepmom and my mom for all
Yep.
those problems.
Yep.
But like, if I want to change and get this right, I have to own every little bit of it.
Yeah, and this morning, like, it was beautiful. Like, consistency. Like, you're a beast when you want to be, right? But sustaining that is...
Yeah, it's not there yet.
Yep. But you're not gonna quit, and that's the biggest part. So let me talk about that a little bit now that you spoke. Like, consistency takes pain, takes uncomfortability, takes time. I mean, there's a couple of us here doing this 75 hard challenge, and we've made it to where it's just literally we go for a walk twice a day, like a fast walk or a hike. Doesn't have to be this extreme workout, right? It's a balanced meal. It's not any crazy diet. It's one portion of things. You can eat a little of everything if you want. It's a gallon of water, right? And I've seen meltdowns in a week of consistency with just being regular, like just being status quo. Like, literally, Chance, you went through this the other day. Like, you wanted to quit after 3 days, not because it was too hard, just because the consistency of something being status quo and balanced.
Well, I don't know.
You got to have a mic. Give him a mic.
I don't know. I didn't want to quit. I just, I was just struggling with.
Cheating is quitting. Okay, so I call you one there already. Yeah. Yeah, doing it your way is called quitting. Okay.
All right. No, that makes sense, I guess. No,
He's
I'm
a
not-
freshman. He's learning. He's okay. And I'm here for the unlearning.
I don't know. I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep on going.
Right.
with it.
But talk about that. Like, the consistency of 3 days of being a certain way and getting up a certain time. Like, you were like, Like, I want something different.
Yeah, I know. It's just, it's super hard, going from one consistent, doing things consistently every day.
Inconsistently every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then changing to truly being consistent and structured. Can you stop chewing that gum while you're...
Take it out.
Okay. Go ahead, buddy.
With me and what happened this morning, I feel like I got to a point where I even lied to myself and told myself that, this is just, I don't want to do this because it's not it's not responsible. Like, I could be putting more energy into somewhere else. Like, I formed this delusion in my mind when really it's just me wanting to quit.
That's it.
And like you point that out to me, and that's exactly what I need for you to like get in my face and be like, hey, like this is what's actually going on.
And what happens is parents don't do that. Moms don't do that. Y'all want to fix it instead of saying push through this and be consistent for time. Your feelings get in the way of I miss him. I want this for him. I want to see him. I want to talk to him. And in those moments of inconsistency and wanting to quit, if you got to talk to somebody that would save you, what would you do?
Use it.
That's it. That's it. And if there'd be an opening, we just saw it. We just saw it. We see it all the time. That if that opening lines up with a wrong time for you, you're out. Until the transformation changes, there is no half pregnant, right? And there is no transformation, half transformation. You are either changed in this world or you're not. And that's what is really hard for people to get. The amount of time it takes people to truly transform and change their lives is a grind. Is the hardest thing. The hardest thing you'll ever be through is not getting high, shooting heroin, overdosing and waking up in the hospital, going to jail. That's not the hardest thing you're ever going to do. The hardest thing you're ever going to do is change. Because it didn't take a lot of effort to be in jail, did it? Those of you that have been to jail, those of us have been, you could sleep when you want, you could eat as much as you want typically, as long as somebody puts stuff on your books. You could pick up the phone and have somebody feel you, make you feel a little better, right? You could have all the same running, cheating behaviors, but this is hard. But this is what's going to transform you. And that consistency and why, so in this program, if you don't know, there is no contact for a minimum of 12 to 14 months. And honestly, if things aren't going well with the person, it goes longer. And if things aren't going well with the parent, it goes longer. Because I'm not going to put a person in the position for you to sabotage it because you want what you want. Because what you want and what the person that's here wanted was you to have this toxic relationship that you got what you wanted out of the relationship and they got what they wanted. And it's disgusting and toxic. And that's the part where you, like a lot of moms and dads just crumble and get angry with me and send me nasty texts and tell me how they think it should be done. And when's this and when's that? Why isn't the podcast on? Why aren't you doing this? Shut up. Shut up, they're alive. Because you know when this all ends? When you don't get to sit here and talk about this? When? How many of you have overdosed in this room? How many of you have multiple overdoses? They don't get to come back. They don't get to talk about this anymore. The parents, you don't get to deal with this anymore. You don't get to complain about them not being around. You don't get to complain about them just being in jail. You don't ever get to see them, talk to them, or anything. The only thing you get to talk to is a headstone. And that's reality with what this is. With the amount of fentanyl, carfentanil, the way the drugs are today, it's over. It's only going to last so long. So be thankful that there's growth and stop telling me it's about you and what you miss and how you miss and what you need. Because all that is part of the equation that gets here. I cannot allow people that are going to create an opening for easy to be involved in this. I'll stifle it. I'll cut you out. And not because I don't like you. And there were times where I had to tell you, back off. Like, this ain't, she's like.
For the record, I did not bug you in the middle of the night. I only bugged you one morning, and you yelled at me for that one morning. And just for the record, I did not. I slept every night.
Oh my God! You smacked that. Oh, hear that? See, that was my payback for that one. I just smashed my tooth on the mic. That's why I used to have that foam thing on there. Hey, what's up? I just feel like it's awesome having you here because we've had our battles and you're more of a battly person than Maureen's. Beth and I have had a battle and I think there was some growth there.
I've heard of this.
What do you think, Deegan? Did you think we had any battles, you and I? I'm thankful that you and I got to work through that, and I'm hoping I'm making people understand that it just can't be the same exact way. Let's see here. I'm thankful for the growth I've seen, not only for my son, but the growth I've experienced, having to own up to my side, seek the truth. That's it. And just owning the side. That's it. I'm not looking for the blame to be on you. I'm looking for some responsibility in getting to the change. Okay, so that's the during the program. And like I said, the majority of the failures, and I believe the word failure is only in quitting. The majority of the failures here are when guys walk out. It has to do with a parent or a loved one that says, all right, fine, I'll pick you up. All right, fine, I'll give you a ride. All right, fine, if you get here, you can stay here for a couple days. All right, fine, let me help you. Helping this much is allowing them, because what people don't understand is that after some time off, and if you're a heroin addict, a meth addict, it can be over like that. When they get high again, Bobby, you all right back there? You sure? Yeah, you're looking like you're about to fall over. You need a pillow or anything back there? All right. So I think you need to pay attention, bro. It's that this like we have to look at the majority. I have to look at the data, and the data says when somebody walks out, they're walking out because somebody's picking them up. Somebody's allowing to break instead of letting them on the streets where they walk to. Like, that's hard to say. If somebody walks out of here, let them be homeless. They're choosing to not have a bed, food, and a roof over their head. Why pick them up? That's their choice. Because you have a feeling about it, and you'll feel better. It's like handing that homeless guy $5 out the door. You have no idea what they're doing with that money, but you feel better giving that $5 out the window. That $5 is buying heroin. I'm just telling you, and it could be their last shot. But we always want to feel a little better. You know, we have these people that just, it's all about feelings, right? So I hope you're understanding where I'm going with this. I'm just telling you, we got to allow our kids, these guys here, stop doing their laundry, stop paying their lawyer fees, stop buying them vehicles, stop doing anything. Let them grow. Let them go through it. Let them build confidence. If you're doing these things, if you're organizing their bills, if you're doing their laundry and they're 20, 30 years old, you are crushing them. And if they have problems, let them struggle. Let them struggle and fight so that they can build confidence. It's the only way to grow. They have no business being in your home. No business. Let them get a job, because after they leave here, and this is the part I want to get to next, after they leave here, they have the skill to get a good job, to be able to afford a house, to be able to afford to pay for it. They're going to have a skill to get a job that isn't a $10 an hour job anymore. It's going to be $20, $25, $30, because they'll have the background, right? Now, what are they going to do with that money? Now that we've unlearned, now are they going to go home and say, and you're going to give them a place to stay, you're going to give them a place to eat, you're going to pay all their stuff, you're going to do their laundry, you're going to have everything there for them? What do you think they're going to do with all that? Think a pile of money would help you right now? No, not at all. Not at all. I see it tear down people that don't have our issue. Piles of money don't help anybody. Being responsible with it, learning what to do with it, is part of the building confidence itself. So those are the couple of things that I wanted to talk about. I watch these documentaries on Netflix. I watch a lot of things that have to do with big pharma, and I watched a documentary that had to do with a parent that had this 20-some-year-old child that he's suing big pharma. He was a pharmacist, and he's suing big pharma, and he's putting all the blame on big pharma. And I think that's a joke. I don't see how that you have a son that you had 20 years of influence with, right? But it's easy to point the finger at a drug company, right? Think about that. Think about it. We have influence of 20 years to be responsible, to train them for life, to point them in a direction of success, to make them work hard. We have all these abilities to teach our kids training for life. And as soon as parents get an out, I see them blame big pharma or mental illness. You're always looking for somebody else to blame besides yourself. Go ahead, man.
If you're not going to own it, you're just a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you might as well just give up your will.
That's it. It's a joke to me. And it's documentary after documentary after documentary. It's about the drugs and big pharma. Big pharma. You had them for 20 years in your house every day. You have them, they're 25 and they're still living in your house every day, and you're going to blame a TV ad? You're going to blame a pharmacy? Like that's like blaming McDonald's for hot coffee and you burnt yourself. It says hot. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, it's just this attitude of blame, blame, blame. And the only thing that I associate the word blame with, hi Deacon, is loser. I know how I live. I know who I was, blaming everybody for everything. You guys as parents know. Did he ever own anything? Anything in his life? We blamed everybody. Like, always. It was either you or the person down the road or my boss. My boss, caught me smoking weed one time and he fired me. He's a dick. Oh, really? Like, it's insane, the stories that you guys come in with. I lost my license for a second DUI, but that judge, he was like a joke. Oh, it was the judge. It was the judge that did it. So this blame thing we're going through is disgusting to me. I'm tired of blaming Big Pharma. I'm tired of blaming anybody. There's going to be temptation for the rest of our life. Are we going to start blaming women because we run to them? Is it going to be their fault that we abuse women and we take advantage of women? It's because they're women? Is that what we're going to do? Because that's another easy place to fall. The whole thing is an absolute joke. So we have to teach these guys how to be better men, how to be responsible, how to be accountable, how to be men with integrity, not blame and sue somebody else because once it got hard, they ran to it. Teach them how to deal with tough. Teach them how to deal with adversity. Teach them how to deal with rough situations. Stop blaming everybody. So let's get to the answer. After you go through the program and you've laid your hands off of it, you start to go through the process and you allow this process to happen. When they leave, what's the answer? Maureen, what was part of the answer for success? Because you're a success story here.
Okay, I'm thinking about something that came out in a conversation that you and I had. You called me because John was having a crisis problem.
Mm-hmm.
And you told me that you thought of it as a challenge
Mm-hmm.
in a positive way,
Yep.
where my feelings would be to kind of
Get your
it would
hands
bring
in.
me down.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but you saw it as a challenge that would eventually something good would happen
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah.
And that was something that was big for me, and it helped me kind of to see how to process things better.
Yeah. That the challenges and the tough times for him, the struggle is necessary. The suffering is optional.
Yes.
And if we allow people to struggle through, and I'm glad you said that. So you figured out letting him struggle is awesome. Because were you ever struggling before for anything, John? No. Was there ever a struggle? What was the struggle in life before?
Figuring out how to hustle next.
That's it. What time am I going to call Mom? What time is she going to be out of bed? That's it. And so the solution was looking at it a different way.
And I think for John and I, one of the things was I let John set the boundaries. Okay. And I think he needed to do that.
Okay.
And I needed to let him do that.
Uh-huh. And not get offended and say, no, I need to see you. No, this is what needs to happen. Yeah. You needed to not control it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I want some comments on here from anybody that wants to talk about this. Let me read some comments here. I read that one. I'm thankful for everything. Diego Cortez. Diego, what's up, man? I miss you all out there. Diego is from the Other Side Academy. He's staff there. He's awesome. Awesome dude. I got to spend a couple days with him in retreat last week. I miss you, bro. Tell everybody out there I said what's up. That control piece, once they get out of here, is allowing the time for the boundaries to be set and not standing in the way of those boundaries, and just allowing the process to happen without putting your hands and your 2 cents into everything. Like, not trying to control anything. Like, and that's what I'm hearing. Like,
We had to build a whole new relationship basically because everything we had before didn't work.
Yeah.
So I mean, I remember going and visiting them and having these feelings and or when they'd be around, I had these old feelings. You know what I mean?
you shared that with me on the way back from your
Yeah,
license.
I didn't like it.
Yep. Yep.
So
It was a temptation.
it was just I don't know. It was just
Reminded
eerily
you.
familiar.
So I hope y'all are listening to this, especially you guys here. Like, this is almost 4 years out, and John's being honest with you and saying, like, when he was back there, right? And Bo, you've talked about this. You know, like, you're not going back to Carlisle. You know, like, you don't want to be back home because it's too much. It's too easy. And that's what I hear you saying. Like, I hope people are listening to that. I hope moms and dads that are anybody out there that's struggling, if you want them to come home to you, you are setting them up for failure. And that almost sounds mean in a way, doesn't it? Do you think it sounds mean, Danielle? Mm-mm.
No.
Curious what my mom's thinking right now.
Yeah. Oh,
What
man.
your mom's thinking now, right now? I would hope to God that he stays.
Take that mic. Take that mic.
I would hope that he stays right here,
Okay.
because coming back home,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I don't know how strong I would be.
Oh, that's good insight.
I'm
Put the
being
mic a little
I'm
closer.
I'm being serious.
You'll make it easier.
Well,
It's your way.
I wouldn't give in to him totally,
Mhm.
but it would be hard for me to throw him out the door.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, like, if anybody here knows Mama D, like, Mama D kisses the side of my face with that Italian like 6 times. She reminds me of my nan. You're the most loving thing. If my Aunt Jo hears us, she's gonna get it. Like, my nan would grab your face and kiss you like 6 times in a row on the side of your face. Like, you remind me of that. And I'll tell you, like, this is gonna sound tough, but in moments of toughness, Joe might use that, and you might not. You may fall for it because there's going to be moments of toughness, like John just said. There's going to be moments of tough where you saw it and you were getting the old feelings and like, whoa, like this is too real. Like this, I could just blow this all up like that. And we've talked about it. All of us here have talked about it. There's guys that are here 2+ years. Jake, you just talked about it. Like, that step back into easy is like this far away. The work, right? I bet you're seeing that this morning, TJ, with what we spoke about. The work is a grind, and it's big steps. But the step back to scumbag loser is this far. Go ahead.
It's like
He can fool you.
It's like if I would have gone home, like I said to you about it, like timing and everything was just like perfect for me. If I would have gone home to visit like 2 or 3 months ago or 6 months ago, you know, and pushed it too soon, I wouldn't have had the solid mindset and what I'm doing with my life today.
Yeah.
You know, to keep me grounded, basically, or to like keep me looking at reality.
Yeah.
Of
Like
how-
accountability.
and the accountability and what, like, basically just about serving other people as well. Like that mindset has just recently entered. You know, we just talked about, 20 months, 22 months or whatever it took for me to get finally like over that hump of only being about myself.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like how quickly and how easily, like, what you said about John with like the feeling,
Mhm.
like that feeling is there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not strong enough now.
Right. But let me ask you this, and this might be a tough question to ask with Mom here, and I hope this is useful. Is you think there's still an opening there if you tried to work it this far into it? To be
Can
honest.
I answer?
No.
I mean,
I want
yeah,
him to answer.
Yeah.
You
I
do
mean,
think so?
I think with my mom and dad, like there always will be. Like, I think it has to be, for me and our relationship, it has to rely on me being a man now.
Do you hear that? He thinks there always will be an opening.
But there won't.
And Jake's like, sees
I
something.
I just see it differently. Like,
Yeah.
I just, to be honest with you, I know that. Like, it's just something that I will always know.
Yeah, because I can't tell you if he came home and cried his little heart out.
You just said he won't.
I
now
know.
You're saying,
I know.
But this is the great
just
stuff for
talking
people
to him, yeah, because that is still, you're always going to be a parent.
So okay, so let's talk about that. What is the word parent? What is that? What is the job of a parent? What's the definition of a true parent? I want to hear this one from you, buddy. Like being people that did it one way, and now you're working hard at doing it another way. And you too, Maureen. What do you think the job of a parent was to you, and what do you think it is now?
Wow, that's tough. Because job of the parent, like it's supposed to be, like you say, you raise them, you teach them right from wrong, you support them the way you can, but yet you have to let them do their own things. I failed in making them be responsible for things. I left them go. You know, I picked up, I picked up after them.
Yep.
You know, not exactly in those words, but you know, you followed behind them. You did everything for them, and
You cleaned
and
up
that-
all the mess.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly the best way to put it.
And do you feel what do you feel going forward now with him being here over 2 years?
Well, on the ride here, of course, it was just his birthday, and Danielle had a birthday card for him, and she said, "Should I put some money in it?" I said, "Absolutely not." You know, because we've already
Jake's
given
like
him-
smiling over there. You said, "See, he's saying see."
So I think I'm learning to step up to not giving. You know, it's now, and I said that to her on the ride here. It's like, no, he is now on his own. He needs to earn everything. Not that a birthday present is a horrible thing, but
Not yet?
no, but he doesn't need that now. He's in a good place. He's earning his keep. He needs to continue to do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where I have to stand strong on that, even though I know exactly how she felt just now answering that question. And Jake saying, is there a weak spot? There can be. That's a difficult thing to get past. You know, I think there's always that little bit of being have a weak spot.
I'm with you. Like, and what the crazy part is you won't know. You have a blind spot to him, and he has a blind spot to. Just like John said, this was this weird, eerie feeling, like these eerie feelings. And if you're not in touch with yourself, and that can happen overnight, where it'll line up that the temptation of you wanting to feel a certain way and the temptation of him wanting to feel a certain way, if it's not what's right, like you just said, it ain't right. He needs to earn it. It's over. You're blowing it up. And I see this so much. I mean, I'm out at the other side academy seeing that people that are there 3 to 5 years that are saying, I am not ready because as soon as I get that opening, I'm gone. As soon as I make it about me, like at the other side academy, they have a rule. Like your third year is your guarantee. And that third year, if you're not there to give your life back to everybody, to serve all the new people, you have no idea what life's about. Because somebody just served you for 2 years. And you're not going to spend a year giving it back. You ain't even close to ready. That's their attitude. I mean, I spoke to people that's a culture there that is just so amazing. And what I'm getting at is that what could that money help right now?
I have an answer.
Okay, but so think about what that money could help and what it could hurt.
But here's my thought on that, because my whole intention with putting money in a card for him was he would have the money. He needs to start showing that he can control the money end of his life and the responsibility that he needs to realize he's got fines to pay. He's got things that he has to take care of that we're not taking care of for him.
Yes, you are. If you're giving him money in the card to pay for a
But it was a
fine, you're
gift.
taking it.
It was a
Don't
gift.
butt.
It was a gift.
If it's coming from you, how's he taking care of it?
Because it came from me, and that was
He didn't earn it.
He was born and he was alive another year. I'm always gonna have an answer.
That's it. That's it. And it's your answer. But it's and he's sitting over here saying that he's gotta earn it all. He's gotta earn it all. And that's hard for moms and a lot of dads. You know, I've talked to guys that are out of the program that are like, I was never, and I'm not going to name it, but I had a guy call me 6 months. I was never taught any of this. I don't have anybody to take care of me, and nobody ever told me how to do this. I don't know how to do anything on my own. I don't know how to
He
pay
just
my
told
bills.
us that today. But I did try to sit down with him and say, this is how you balance a checkbook. This is what it all
And
is.
you put the money in the account.
No, I didn't. No, we didn't get that far.
Jake's shaking his head.
We
yes,
didn't
he
get
did.
that far.
Okay.
I don't
Look
think.
at him looking over there.
It never made it to the bank account. let's put it that way.
Yeah, so you see, like, this is 26, 7 months. Like, you see the work that needs to go into that 4
Yeah,
years.
he's not coming home.
but they have no business to be home. The only time that you need to be with him anymore is when it's your turn for him to take care of you. That's it. And not now. Like, I'm not talking about your feelings. I'm talking about physically, it's time for me to do for them, right? And there's no way that people pre-5 years are ready for that. I love what you said, because you're like, I'm not ready. You're in this thing 4 years and working your butt off, right? You got a great job. You got a great career ahead of you. You're going to school. You spent how long here? 2 years here, 2 years here, and you're. But I love that you said, I'm not ready for that. The distance between you two has been great. I love that you have visits, you have phone calls. That's normal. We get this thing where we think. I hear grown men say, I miss my mom. And I'm like, what? You missed your mom, but when mom was there, you spent a week out of there, and every time you saw her, you told her to get the F out of your face, or cursing at him and calling him names. Like, what do you mean you miss them? No. You miss the feeling. You miss what they can do for you. You miss what they can provide for you. You miss the feeling that they could give you and the comfort. That's what you really miss. Anybody want to talk about that? Nobody wants to talk about that one? Huh? You want to talk about that one back there? No? Uh-huh. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. You don't miss them. That's the truth. You don't miss them. You miss what they did for you. You miss the way they made you feel. You miss easy. You miss them allowing you to be be consistent. Like stopping consistency. You miss the easy way out. And this is awesome what you guys are doing right now. I mean, I hope every recovery group gets to see this, because this is real. Like, this is factual. This is like one-on-one. I've never seen anything like this done, so I'm really thankful for it. But the answer, believe it or not, is that separation. The answer is becoming a grown-up. Like, what do birds do when the baby can fly? What do? They throw them out. Right? I'll tell you, since I've had their house I'm at, I've had this cat at my house. You know the cats at the house, right? I would watch her be the best mom in the world, right? Until it was time to get them off of here. And then she'd allow them to eat food, like hard food, for about 2 months. And then guess what she started to do if they didn't leave? Kick the hell out of them. Like, literally, like, destroy them. And I caught on later, like, oh, because at first I'd be like, yo, like, why is she destroying every cat after she has them? And the answer was, enough. Go. Get out of here. Be your own cat. Like, stop eating my food. Get out of my house. And then, yeah. And then Mitzi'd be alone here, and she'd be like, feed me. It's my time now. And it was really weird for me, and I kept seeing it over and over again. And we were the only animal, and I know we aren't animals. We have an imagination. We have all this. But when it's time and they can stand on their own, they got to go learn. They got to go. They were taught how to hunt. They were taught how to fight if they had to. They were taught how to love, right? They were taught a community. Now go do it. And if you want to stay too long, she literally tore them up. And they left after enough beatings. I would literally watch it on my back porch. Like, she would just tear them up. And they'd leave. So, like, I'm not saying that moms, you should be biting your kids, or dad, you should be eating your young. I'm saying that there's a reason that this doesn't work. And families, you're part of that. You're part of that. Let go. Allow them to become men. And men don't need mommies to take care of them. Men don't need mommies to miss them and send them everything every single week and tell them that they, like, we know that you love us. We know that you care. And that's appreciated. But the way you're doing it isn't working. It hasn't worked. And you're getting to hear some wisdom here and some people that have had the growing pains. And you're getting to see some struggles right now of reality of where things are and how they should go. People have no business.
There's another piece to this, too.
Go ahead.
The letting go, but we're still family.
Mm-hmm.
And we still love each other.
Yep.
And we have to figure out the healthy way
That's it.
to support each other.
And what does that look like for you right now? If you could tell everybody, what is that healthy way from comparing before?
Well, I don't know everything about John's life. I'm not supposed to know everything about John's life. He's an adult.
There you go.
Okay?
Your world. I hear all the time, my kids are my world, and I think right away I'm like,
No,
That's-
because when you're an adult, you're going out and you're finding your own way, and your own family and your own way of how you're going to do things.
That's it. And that it's got to be a fulfilling feeling for you.
Oh yes.
Like unlike the other part.
Oh yes.
Did you feel like you failed a lot before?
Oh yeah.
I remember you talking to me about it in tears.
Yeah.
You know? Did you feel like you failed at times, Leon? Do you guys feel? You don't feel like that anymore, do you? No. You're letting him. You do? Talk about it.
I do, just from like conversations today. Like he's pointing things out to me, and I'm just like, "Are you kidding? Are you serious?" Like, there's a lot of stuff that I did not know was happening, and why did I not know it when I should have known it when he was younger?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with the whole. You're grown up now. You got to live your life.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably the best for us.
Yeah.
To distance, and because I just always had a different relationship with Jake versus his brother.
Yeah.
Because his brother was more independent with things, but Jake just needed a lot of help when it came to like school, things like that. And I hated to see him struggle. So I remember, I don't know if Jake remembers,
What did you just say? You hated what?
Night I
Go ahead, say,
hated
to see.
him struggle.
That sums it up.
But here's why I hated it so much, because things that came easy for his brother didn't come easy for him. So it was more like a kick in the face for Jake, even more. Like, why? They're from the same two parents. Why is one struggling so hard and the
But
other?
we all have different brain chemistry and DNA.
I
bet
realize
you
that.
All I'm hearing is Jake has different gifts than Ben does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And our vision of how things should be with each person gets skewed.
Yeah.
You know?
It does.
Yeah.
And as a parent, you feel like your job is to really help them overcome the difficulties that they're having. And
she's catching herself.
I
She's
am.
talking.
I
You
am
hear her?
catching this
She's
a
like,
lot.
And if,
Sounds
oh,
dead out loud.
Safely choosing her words.
Yeah, she's like, I think I'm digging a hole.
It's getting deep. It is. That's probably why I didn't want to talk.
This is very, very helpful.
I know.
I just want you to know, this isn't about you. You guys are really helping people if they listen, especially the people that are here that have freshmen, sophomore, juniors that are here. I hope that people are listening, because they don't get it.
Here is one of the things that was pointed out to us a lot with everything with Jake from outsiders who just saw us as a family, couldn't understand how we got to where we were. But the comment was always, but you're like the perfect family.
Why? Because you have money. That's
you
the
have
real
this
answer.
perfect house. You have this
Business.
perfect life. You have your boys are beautiful. Like, oh, what? People do not see everything, and now, like Leon was just talking with somebody the other day, trying to help them face some issues and problems.
Yep.
And say, this is what I did wrong or what we did wrong. This is what you need to do. And I'm thinking, wow, why didn't we do that? Well, we couldn't do that because we just didn't know.
You didn't know.
No. And it just got worse.
And
it snowballed.
And so that's the great part about this. You don't know what you don't know, but when you're being taught and you're being told, back off, this is how you need to do it right now, and you don't, you know. And that's the part that's tough. You know, that's the part that's tough with a lot of parents is I'm telling them that they come to me saying, I don't know. Tell me how to do this. And then I tell them, and they don't like the answer. They want to tell me how to do it. You know, you got the answer. Well, what happened the last 10 years if you have the answer? Like, where were you with the answer? So, like, that's huge that you go through this time of struggle with seeing it, but you always, I'll get a text from Danielle tomorrow, Jake, that says, hey, I thought about this. I always get the text from her a day later. I always get the day later text from your mom that says, hey, I thought about this, and this is what I figured out. We're all emotional beings.
I kind of do the same thing.
Yes, I get it from Jake, too. Hey, all right, I get that. I didn't get it in the moment.
I wanted to argue it, but I get it.
But I get it, and I appreciate it. And that's what I always get from both of you. And, again, this is nothing, y'all, about me being right. It's just my point of view and how I see dealing with it. There's a ton of places that deal with it differently. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying that I look at the way that of the gift that I've been given of my aggression and my passion to be a certain type of person that have an ability to tell you anything you don't want to hear. I just don't care what people think when it comes to this stuff. So I look at that as a gift because not a lot of people really want to do that. You guys have trouble with everybody here has trouble with conflict at times. Well, I'm not the type of person I love conflict as long as there's purpose in it. I see the value in it. I see the purpose in it, but only through my own struggle. I finally found a person in Tim that didn't care what I looked like, that didn't care how big I thought I was, how bad I thought I was, that got in my face and said, you're an asshole. I don't care how clean you think you are, how sober you think you are. You treat people like crap, and you're going to get drunk again. And I think you're full of crap. And I was like, I did the Joey puff up. Where's Joey? And he didn't care. I mean, he's told Jake and other guys he did not care if I beat him up in a meeting.
He just told us while we were down there, he's like, I used to say things to Kevin, and now I look back at him, and I was crazy. He's like, because I thought he was going to straight kill me.
But you know what? I look back at it, and it's the first time I got to hear the truth. Either I intimidated people or manipulated them enough to not tell me the truth. And that was me. That's what I wanted.
And then you finally met someone like I met you
that
doesn't care.
That's right. That did not care to hurt my feelings because that's exactly what I needed. So it's just a style. My mentor, Dave, man, his style, we are twins and we're capable of doing that. But at the end of the day, I always know I love the heartbeat on the other side of everybody here. I love them so much because I don't feel like I was a kid. And I talked to my wife about this, like, because we were talking about, like, the grind of this and the intensity and the aggression. And she's like, well, doesn't it get tough? And I'm like, no, because I didn't have, like, what you have. Like, I didn't have somebody teaching me along the way. And, you said wrong from right. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have much of that growing up where I had parents that were involved with, like, showing me. My brother and I talk about it a lot. Like, we didn't have a lot of showing. Which is, I'm not complaining. I got to learn a lot of independence and things on my own. But there's pieces of it that I think I do that on the other side so much because I want to give people what I know that times didn't help me. So you need to be shown the right way. And guidance from a senior to a junior is what I demand here, right? That's the big push lately for you seniors and juniors. You need to guide these guys. You need to give to these guys. You need to love them enough to tell them the freaking truth so they don't die. And don't leave it out. Every single instance, persistency. When you see them going backwards or just coasting, you need to be in their face. So that's the mentality here. And like I said, I'm not vested in being right. I'm vested in giving you my point of view every minute that I can. And if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, that's because you want easy. No, I'm just kidding. So I hope today was valuable. I hope today was something that moves you, if you're a parent, to literally let go. I hope you allow people to struggle. I hope you make them earn everything. I hope you learn to allow them to set the boundary. And I hope you learn to know and to have insight in yourself, like I've heard here, of I'd make it easy. And this is a wisdom panel right here. That's why I wanted to put these people in the front, because you have years and years and years of wisdom of doing it wrong and then figuring out how to do it or figuring out letting go to learn how to do it. And this is what life is about. Nobody here has a piece of paper. Nobody has a degree in anything. But what we have is the life experience and we all want to go forward. And I hope we're teaching you how to go forward and not be a victim of this thing, but to kick it in the butt. So we're going to get out of here. I'm really thankful for this today. This is definitely the coolest podcast I've ever done. I love doing this, and I hope we can get more of this. I hope more people come in here for family weekends and they talk reality. I'm really thankful for y'all, and I appreciate every one of you, really. This will go out and will help a ton of people. I think Connor and I will take this video and clip it down and use parts for a long time to reach people, to reach the people that matter, because this is a family deal. And if you all don't get help and you don't get humble and you don't learn and then give it back and teach it, it's not valuable. It's nothing if you just hold on to it. So thank y'all. Have an awesome rest of your weekend. And remember, whatever you do today, do it with soul. I love y'all. Peace.
And we thank you too, Kevin, for you.
Yeah. None of that. Later.